do that. I do here. Let's go. All right, we're live on YouTube. Both microphones are on. I will mount it real quick. So we're live on YouTube and Facebook, so you guys know. And plus, we're recording. We'll be recording audio for Apple and iHeart and everybody. Here we go.
My air conditioner running in the background isn't going to be a problem because I can't turn it off.
I don't hear it at all. So you're good. We got
it's frozen in alert mode.
All right, so we're
And
good.
this weather, nobody can turn their air conditioning off, so
I know,
you're
right?
good.
Yeah, that weather been transferred up here. We've been in the mid 90s, low 80s, high 80s for like a week and a half now. This morning it was 67, but it still got up to 89. All right, let me just quick do the YouTube thing. Or is it? There. All right. We're live. There it is. Okay, perfect. You guys are all in there. Yes. Good. Perfect. You guys are all in there. Get that a little. All right. So this one. Yes. I wonder what's going. That's bizarre. It shouldn't. All right. All right. So this one. I think we're gonna just see if I can get it going. It's bizarre. It shouldn't. All right. I put the wrong. That helps. I must have put the wrong one in. Or okay. Never mind. I didn't put it in. That helps. Yeah, I was using the camera microphone. Okay. There we go. I didn't put it in. That's why I always check. Because if I don't check, it's like sometimes I don't do the right thing. Yeah, now it's working. All right, everything's working. Shows well. All right, I got to get you guys in. I moved the camera when I did that. Should probably do this real quick. All right, let's see. That should have worked. All right. All right, there we go. Set up for that. Wasn't supposed to have it. Let's put that back on. All right, there we go. I can see those comments and those comments. So Walter is on tonight. Walter Zausch. He's paying attention.
Hey, Walter.
Says hi to everybody.
Hello, Walter.
All right.
Hey, Walter.
And then, yeah, so did you guys have anything specific before I set it off onto the audio and we get going? Did you have any, or are we gonna do what we normally do? Talk about all the stuff this year and how excited we are for the festival?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, perfect. All right, so what'll happen is there'll be about a 50-second quiet time, and then you guys will see now you get to see the actual theme song, and we'll go from there. All right, welcome back to another podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. This is an exciting evening. It's a 6 o'clock podcast for everybody out there. I'm glad that anyone who's joining us, very excited for this podcast tonight. Welcome everybody on Facebook and YouTube. And then also we got Amzie Winning. Hey, Amzie.
Jeff, glad to be on here this evening.
We got Diane Strong. Good to see you, Diane.
Hey.
Hey. And we got Renee True. So good to see you, Renee.
Good to see you, Jeff.
And what's really kind of cool is this is the fourth one that we've done leading up after the first one, which you guys invited us to come down. And then I'm so excited because this is the third one that we're going to be a part of. So very, very excited about everyone for us has been an evolution to what we could and what we wanted to do. But you guys, it's also been an evolution as you keep going forward with the festival. I'm really excited with the website this year. Really covers everything that you normally do, and it's really kind of cool. So maybe talk about a little bit just to start us out with what we can expect this year. Whoever
Kick
wants.
us off, Diane. You're the master.
Well, once again, we're kicking everything off on Thursday with we've got the Bourbon Bell Tour with Heather Wibbels. She's doing another mixology on the river, so that's a very, very cool event. I think we've got 2 tickets left to that, and then Whiskey Thief Distillery is doing our kickoff party again this year. I'm sure it's going to be bigger and better than ever. It's always a great event. They always got live music, and of course they've got the open bar and the sampling and the fire pits. And I don't know if you've ever been out to Whiskey Thief, but it's always a party happening over there. It's a good time. And then of course Friday we've got Peggy Noe Stevens is back. She's going to do a bourbon pairing at 1 o'clock, and then we've got the Friday VIP, which we're actually featuring the Women of Bourbon this year, and we've got a really great lineup of women. So you want to hear the list that we have so far?
Yeah.
Peggy Noe Stevens and Heather Wibbels are coming for that, and then Melissa Red with Old Forester, Sarah Algram. She used to be with It's Bourbon Night, but she has evolved into working at Dark Arts Whiskey. So she's, regardless, a pretty impressive woman of bourbon. So we're happy to have her. Priola Dickerson. She is with, you guys help me out here, with a completely new riff.
Okay.
And we're thrilled to have New Riff. This is the first year they're going to be joining us. Gigi DeDan, she is with Angels Envy. Alex Castle, she's with Augusta. And let's see here, Ashley Barnes, she's with the Spirits Group. She's joining us. So we're pretty excited, 8 pretty impressive women. We've also asked them to bring their brand, and then we've got a couple extra distilleries that are going to be there as well, including Whiskey Thief, RD1, and
Limestone.
our title sponsor, Limestone Branch,
Yeah.
Limestone Heritage Distilling Company. They've all agreed to pour some special samples this year, not something you can just get off the shelf. That was a request in one of the surveys, and we took it to heart. And so it's not going to be just your average pour. So I think the VIP is going to be really special this year. We've also got some stuff lined up in the auction. Renee, you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we're going to have Limestone Heritage Distillery is going to donate a barrel, be a high-end barrel for the auction. And then Whiskey Thief has put together a design your own mash bill barrel pick of sorts. I think it's not a whole barrel, but I think it's 42 or 48 bottles, something like that. But you get to design your own mash bill within some parameters. I mean, you can't just come up with anything. Obviously, I mean, they can't go to Hawaii and pick out some kind of rye that's grown there and that kind of thing. So, but they're putting together the wording on that and the, that's pretty cool. I mean, it's something that the Frankfurt Bourbon side has been able to do through the years out at Whiskey Thief.
So
Now they're going to allow somebody else to do that. That's the lucky high bidder at the auction.
So you'll design your own mash bill, they'll distill it and then age it for you, or are you picking mash bills that are already ready to go?
No, it's going to be aged.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll design your own mash bill within parameters. Then they will age it. Like I said, some of the details will probably be spelled out before the auction as far as how long they'll age it, and then they'll bottle it, and then you get 48 bottles of it.
Okay, so then it'll be in a barrel, 48 will go to you, yeah, and then they do what they do.
So a really neat, I think very unique experience for someone.
Well, especially with what's happened at Whiskey Thief, now that you've got, Derek was over there with Kelly, and now you've got Lisa Roper Wicker, and you've got Ben over there. I mean, you got a lot of distilling talent that's over with what, it's kind of like, I was like talking with Walter, and I'm just like, you got a lot of quarterbacks and running backs there, and you're like, you got to be the Vince Lombardi of making that work. And, he does a good job of that. So, but I was excited, what they got going there. There's no doubt. I think that experience sounds fantastic.
Yeah, we're excited about that. And then, traditionally, we have received a lot of extremely hard to get bottles from Buffalo Trace. We don't have confirmation of what those bottles are this year, so we have not posted anything on the website yet. But if you watch the website, as we get bottles and or barrel picks committed, we add those to the website. I think we still have tickets available for that event, correct, Diane?
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the premier event. And I think it's important to reiterate what Diane just said about the pours. So the pours that you're going to get on Friday night, you're not going to get those same pours on Saturday. So we're trying to really listen to what our customer said, as Diane mentioned. and make it more exclusive so that, you get your bang for your buck.
So like last year when I was there, so at the stations where you walk around, that's where those distilleries will be. It'll be like having their exclusive pours at each station.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I mean, just the coolest thing about the whole auction last year was the people that came up, like they're out of Texas and out of Dayton, and the auction was going off, and it was really cool to watch. But they were like sharing. He opened the bottle right there and poured out some of the Taylor. I mean, it's such a fantastic event. There's the people that attend it are by far the coolest. I mean, that was so cool to meet them. And how they shared the bourbon that they were buying. You're talking about some exclusive bottles, and they were just like anybody else in the bourbon industry or the bourbon, community. They were just down home people that were wanting to share bourbon with other people.
Now, Jeff, that gentleman, he's from Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
His name's Christian Prince.
Thank you.
And he told me before the auction, he says, I want you to let people know, I think he got auction or bidder number one, if as I recall. He says, anytime I buy something, let everybody know, whatever I buy, we're gonna open as soon as the auction's over. And I was like, this is unbelievable. This was great. So I kept track, or I added it up later. I believe it was $7,800. He spent $7,800 on whiskey, and he opened almost every one of the bottles that he bought.
So, the other group was from Texas. We ran into them at House of Commons. And that night, I'm not going to say anything, but I saw a bourbon, because they were sharing. Brent Elliott had stopped by, and they were just sharing and pouring. And they were buying. I was getting stuff, and I was like, wait, what's happening? And we were talking about 1959 Old Fitzgerald, we were drinking 1960 Ancient Age, and I mean, I saw the bill, and it was more than I could ever even imagine of what he picked up. I mean, he was taking those Dusties, and he was sharing with the whole bar, like if you're buying the Jack Daniels or Jim Beam or something for the whole bar, that's one thing. But when you're buying Old Dusties for everybody, that really got into it. And it was just, I was astounded at the generosity of even the big spenders, right? Those are the, they were spending so much, they spent so much money, and that it was just such a, I mean, I went back with Dave. I was in town a couple weeks ago and went back to House of Commons, and Dave, he just does such a good job there, and he's got such, and then when you go out into the whole community, that you guys 100% are right to have the festival, and you include the community because of how close knit the festival is in Frankfurt. I mean, you really through this particular festival showcase that the greatness of that city, of your city.
Jeff, and I think part of that is, and I think some of these big spenders get it too, hopefully, is that we are a charity-driven festival, that we do this every year to give more and more back to the community. And so when people are buying those bottles that they then share, they're helping the city of Frankfurt. And so I think that's a big thing. One of the things I love about our festival, it's a great fun festival, but then it's just a great cause as well.
Jeff, we gave back $80,000 last year to local charities.
And I hope
$80,000.
I hope this year is bigger, because it just seems like there's excitement of all the people I know. And you don't. It's funny, honestly. You guys are sold out of the general admission, but if you come down that weekend, I guarantee you, you can have some, the city is just a buzz, and everybody from the festival, after the festival's over, pours out into the city. It's a fan, and we've got all the distillers out there, different people. I mean, we were just with so many people last year, and it really, the festival actually extends out to the city of Frankfurt, and it's beautiful.
To that extent, Diane, why don't you tell about this year's after party, which is we're gonna make it more open and available than people have thought in the past.
Well, it's always been a free event for everybody. I don't think that people were aware. They just kind of assumed it was for the attendees. But, at the end of the day, the attendees have been at the event, some of them for 5 hours. So not all of them are wanting to go to an after party. So we really want to make sure that the community is aware. We are stepping it up this year. It's the Goodwood After Party. They're the primary sponsor, but Buffalo Trace is coming in as the band sponsor. And we've also had some help from Benson Valley Bourbon with bringing in the opening band. And then we've hired, the opening band is Creekwater. They're kind of local, regional. They've got a decent following, great band. But the headliner, his name is Noah Thompson, and he was the 2022 winner of American Idol. He's from Kentucky, and we're super excited. So we'll start sharing that information out there and advertising that pretty soon here.
Yeah, I mean, last year, I honestly, I think it was one of, there's always another great bourbon experience, but at the House of Commons, I think that was one of, it just, you have those ones that you just you remember, and the people that you were able to share bourbon with, was just off the chart. And I look forward to it this year because there's so many people that I told about this that are coming down to the festival. And so there's going to be a lot more people, local people I know from Ohio. There's going to be a lot of people I'm aware of in Kentucky. Whiskey Thief is one of our sponsors of the podcast, and Walter's been nothing but spectacular. I mean, it's just, just once again, you meet somebody like him, and who you just feel there's a friendship, a bond, and once again, it's I always look at what's been happening in this industry and why it's so awesome. It's bourbon drives everything, but the friendships and the community that exists within the bourbon community, and just meeting people like you and you guys, Angie, I mean, and meeting you, Renee and Diane, I feel like that if I never was into bourbon, I would have never made your acquaintance, and never gone to the festival and met so many friends and that thing. And that's what that's kind of what this is about. And the history in Frankfurt is just amazing. Now, for everybody, let everybody know what was the effects of the flood. Obviously, it was completely underwater to the break. You've got the levee there. Is the grounds pretty well recovered, or did you have to do anything special?
So the festival site is right along the river. Obviously, that's one of our. We love this park, and it actually flooded twice this year, and we had flooding in February as well. And after the February flood, the park actually was a little bit more level, and we were excited about the effects that flood had on it. However, this major flood, it was 0.02 from being historic, and or beating the historic one. The park did suffer a little bit of loss. We've had some sloughing off near the river. We've been down there. There's a lot of sand. We might call it bourbon on the beach this year because there's so much sand.
That would be awesome.
But I mean, it's gonna be fine. I mean, I honestly don't think that by October you'll notice a whole lot, but I think the city is going to set up there to talk about the situation and recovery of the park. They are reseeding it. They reseeded it once, and then it rained and it washed away, and they're having a hard time keeping up with that. But it looks good. I mean, I think I don't think anybody is going to notice. We may have to move a couple of tents around to avoid some soft spots and things, but it's actually, our footprint is going to be a little larger this year. We're extending the festival, so, and we also have more distilleries than ever, so we need to extend it. But
Yeah, so talking about distilleries, one of the really cool things is I've got 4 sponsors, and you're talking Middle West Spirits, you're talking Whiskey Thief, you're talking about the Spirit of French Lick, and you're talking about Old Louisville, and all 4 of them will be at the festival. So, like I said, I'm so excited about that. You know, having to be down there and be able to see all the sponsors and talk with them. And it's, you know, I really feel that how you guys, you know, set it up and with all the other bourbon things mixed in. You've got the podcasts, and you know, you've got everything. Now, you were mentioning that Sarah is working for Dark Arts. You said that? That's what you said, Diane?
Yeah, that's correct.
you didn't see that press release?
I did not see that press release. That's exciting. Oh, that's going to be really interesting. I love the team that Macaulay's putting together. There's no doubt about it, and that makes sense. It's just, you know, now are they still doing the podcast, Chad and Sarah? Do they still do that, or is she stopped doing that?
YouTube channel. So I believe that Chad has continued with it, and I'm not sure if he found someone to replace her.
Okay.
Not that she's replaceable, but
I mean, they're still married, right?
I don't think they ever were married.
What?
Seriously.
Okay. I'm not sure. I thought maybe there was a point, but yeah. Okay, but her going there, that's good. I mean, that's awesome. I know Macaulay, and I've been trying to work. Now that makes total sense. Macaulay, I asked him if he was going to be around the Friday after this Friday, and he was like, "Well, I'm out of the country right now, but Sarah's there," and I didn't know what Sarah he was referring to, but now I do. So maybe stop in and say hi, right?
Absolutely.
So
and you know, it's Bourbon Night is usually at the event as well, and they are still gonna be at the event. So Chad will be there, and we'll probably learn all about what he's got planned going forward without Sarah. So
yeah, there you go. He could tell us. So there you go. If all you podcast, Chad and Sarah's podcast, it's Bourbon Night. Just you can find out everything you need to find out, right? Well, he's probably filling everybody in anyways. But Diane, I saw that you personally, the flood affected your house, correct? I mean,
it did. I had 5.5 feet in my main floor.
And you had a couple bottles that you posted that made it. They didn't look too hot, but they made it at least, right?
I do have the one. Well, I saved it. This is my 20-year happy. Normally I would be sipping on the Mayday from Whiskey Thief right now because that's my favorite, and that did not survive. So my bourbon collection is, I don't know, it's questionable. I'm sure it's still fine. Yeah, there you go. No, mine's slightly.
What?
I'm not sure if they change the label every year, but
yeah.
Mine last year.
I think they changed bottles. It was a flat, traditional pint shaped, and they've gone to the round bottles.
Yeah, they've got them all.
Yeah.
Traditional, right? You know, so yeah, definitely. But this one was crazy at 146 proof. I mean, I tried it. I'm waiting. Me and Walter are supposed to be doing a podcast together soon, and I'm gonna taste that on there. I did pick up this one just recently, which is 134.7, and it was just, you know, Whiskey Thief's a great place to go. I mean, I'm not the hugest fan of ryes, but I have to say that I'm a huge fan of Whiskey Thief rye because I haven't had a bad one, you know. So anyways, all right, so Like once again, so have you completely did everything work out? I mean, how long did it take to go through the stuff and get back up into the living space?
Well, I still have studs in my first floor. They're getting ready to insulate starting Wednesday or Thursday, so it's been a slow process. But we're fortunate in that our bedrooms are upstairs and we have hot water and a makeshift kitchen in our garage, and we're making memories.
Making do, right? That's all you can do, and
Yeah,
just
we're comfortable.
and it's good. I mean that anytime you have a flood like that and you get that much water, first it's just I'm just glad you were safe.
Right. We are, when you compare our flood to what just happened in Texas, we're very fortunate.
Yes, there's no doubt.
We all are here in Frankfurt. And as a community, I mean, people talk about how great our community is, but when it came to that flood, I tell you what, the community was phenomenal. I mean, they were there before Red Cross or FEMA especially, and so they were just, Frankfurt's a great place.
Yeah, well, I mean, we all know it's a treasure, and just the people within it, the Bourbon Society, the Frankfurt. It's amazing when it comes to the kindness and, like you said, this festival, you guys keep sharing more and more back to your community, and so Amzie. So there's an after party, but is there going to be the after party?
I don't know. And for those that don't know what you're talking about, normally we have a little event at the Frankfurt Bourbon Society after, for anybody that wants to stop by. I think we'll probably do something there, but the issue we've had is that the bridge that connects downtown Frankfurt to what's called South Frankfurt, where Frankfurt Bourbon Society is, has been closed and is still closed. The new bridge will apparently start construction in 2027. So it makes it a little harder to get over to the Frankfurt Bourbon Society. But yeah, I would imagine there will be some people over there for a little while.
Yeah, you kind of have to come in from the other way, right?
Yeah. It makes it, it used to be, a block and a half walk from House of Commons, for example. Yeah, and now it's, I don't know, a mile or something.
Yeah, you're driving.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I stayed at the Fairfield Inn. It's probably that was 2.7, so it wasn't that bad. I mean, it's okay. It's still close. We're still staying across from the chocolate factory, which then is on the other side. But now, is that bridge closed, or is that open?
No, that's open.
Okay, that's the one that's open. Okay. Yeah.
Speaking of places to stay, we've got 2 new hotels this year compared to last year. And the Delegate, which is, I believe they've got 42 rooms, and then there's the Ashbrook. Both of those are very much within walking distance to the festival. So I should mention that we're going to be doing an undressing bourbon video with them just to kind of showcase their property, but they have availability. And they're both really catered towards the bourbon community. So the Ashbrook is in a historic home, and it's previously owned by E.H. Taylor. They're really cool properties. If you're in for that, if you're really into that kind of experience stay, that's the way to go.
And they both have nice high-end restaurants, and of course, very nice bourbon bars.
What are the restaurants?
Right.
Cypress and Oaks and
The Ashbrook.
It's called the Ashbrook, at the Ashbrook.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Capitol Plaza still has rooms available as well. They set aside a giant block of rooms for us. I think there's only about 20 left for if you come in on the 1st or 2nd, but if just staying the 3rd and 4th, they've got 59 rooms available.
Okay, and that everybody who's watching right now that's thinking of coming down or has tickets and doesn't have their rooms, you need to do this because by the time it happens, there's not a lot left. I
love that we're able to have so many people stay downtown and walk and not worry about driving, and it makes it a lot easier on everybody. And plus, you know, the downtown is where everything is. That's where you want to be.
Oh, absolutely. No, no, no. It's just, and uh, I mean, it's just fantastic. I mean, one of the cool things is you guys are the capital of Kentucky, if anybody doesn't know. So when you're downtown, you're basically, the capital is kind of like the center. You're always around the capital, and it's really kind of a cool thing. You're just, you know, that's just, and it is a wonderful town, and there's so much to do. At first, when you come, you might not think that, but after you've been there a couple times, you realize what kind of a community is and how many different places. And you guys keep, like you just talked about, 2 new hotels with bourbon experiences, bourbon bars, restaurants. Food's always fantastic. You guys, you know, overall, this festival is really, really, to me, you know, about your community. This is it, and even down to, you know, when you're walking around the festival's fantastic. But then, you know, when you're talking about that, out into the community, you guys have always pushed that, and you were completely right to do it. And I think you this year it showed. One, we're out of COVID, I think, completely, so you don't have to worry about people not coming. But I mean, when you think about the excitement and how fast you did sell out this year, I mean, normally at this time we're talking about there's some tickets left, and it's been a while since there's been tickets left.
And we, Diane, didn't we add, because we expanded our real estate footprint on the river a little bit, we always want to have an intimate setting there, so we limit ticket sales, but we added 200 tickets, right?
We increased it by 300.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a larger portion of that went into the Twilight ticket.
Okay.
That there's enough space to add more, because, you know, you have a lot of your people who showed up at 1 o'clock who are ready to leave by then. It
Yeah.
opens up some more room. So, and there are Twilight tickets left. I mean, and honestly, if someone were to come to Frankfurt just for those 2 hours with all of the other stuff that we've got going on, it is still so worth the trip, no matter where you're coming from.
So I agree with that completely. So if you guys, knowing that there's Twilight, anybody who's listening to this and wants to come down, like I said, the festival, 2 hours at the festival would be more than enough. And then the people at the festival that you meet are going to go out into the community, and it is pretty exciting. There's no doubt about it. Now, what was it? There was one other. You were talking about the tickets. I had a question that now it's gone.
You know, a couple things I would like to add for people visiting, maybe if you haven't been to Frankfurt before. You know, if I have friends show up, where do I take them? Because you kind of mentioned it being the capital. So you can go up around the capital. There's still scaffolding on the capital, some renovations being done there.
That tour, though, and the inside is gorgeous.
It is. And then go up to the Frankfurt Cemetery, visit Daniel Boone's grave. From his grave, you have a wonderful view on the Capitol, which is below. It's on the hill up above the Capitol. But you know, the other thing, you are 20 minutes or less from Buffalo Trace, the new Benson Valley Distillery, Whiskey Thief, Castle and Key, Woodford Reserve, Four Roses, Wild Turkey. So there's a ton to see in the local area if you're using Frankfurt as your home base. Probably another 35 minutes maybe to the distillery district in Lexington, where you can visit Dark Arts, James Pepper, RD1 down there. You know, maybe, I don't know, 50 minutes to Louisville. So Frankfurt's a really good home base if you want to come in, stay there, you know, go visit some of the other places. The other thing, I think, even if you come in town for Twilight tickets, you're probably going to enjoy the after party a little bit more than people who get to the festival earlier. And also, I think Saturday night in town at House of Commons and other places isn't as crowded as it is Friday night. So I think you could come for the Twilight, last couple hours there and still have a tremendous experience.
I will also say that now I remembered my question. So what's the at the festival? What's the bottle acquiring? You know what is that this year as far as distilleries, what they can do and how they can tell everybody how you can obtain some pretty damn good whiskey.
You talking about the festival barrel picks?
Well, there's,
Festival
there's
Barrel.
that, but just in general, distilleries are able to sell their whiskey, but
Right.
if they're out of state and they don't have a Kentucky license to sell, Diane, we have a local liquor store, Capital Cellars, that facilitates that, so
Right,
yes,
no,
they often
it
sell.
It facilitates it right there, right there at the festival. You have they set up a store there. So if you like something if you like French lick, you can go over to the tent where that and then purchase bottles that way. And a lot of I was Bardstown Bourbon Company. They brought I believe it was last year the Carter bottle. So the distilleries have James E. Pepper released the one year their special bottle, and so you can pick up some really kind of excellent whiskey that you might not be able to pick up unless you go to the distillery or you waited in line and were able to get something like that.
So,
Sure. We've got
Anthony, I was gonna
I
say,
was just gonna say-
Anthony, probably the same thing I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna
We've
let
got barrel
Anthony tell
picks
the
again this
story.
year.
We've got 10 or 11 barrel picks this year. So those are gonna be single barrels. They're definitely something that you're not gonna be able to get
Yeah.
anywhere else. So I don't know if Anthony wants to dig into that a little bit.
Yeah, I can touch base on that. So we've kind of in the past we have just sold the barrel picks at a tent, and a lot of times Renee and I would man that space.
Lose your
But now
mind.
the distilleries are going to sell them at their tents. There will also be some signage, so that'll be a little easier to see those distilleries, and then I think they will be emphasized on the map of where all the distilleries are located. I can kind of run through the list. We still have a few that we haven't done yet, but Angel's Envy, great, great port finished bourbon that we picked there. Bespoken Spirits, they are in Lexington. They originally started in California. So they work on some, I would say, rapid aging and rapid finishing of barrels, and have a really interesting approach. That place looks like the lab of a mad scientist. Gas chromatographs, mass spectrometers, everything there. The one we ended up picking there was a 9.5-year-old hazmat Barton that was finished in Riesling ice wine barrels. It just kind of blew me away. So what they do is sometimes they do have aged product as well, but then they sort of rapid finish it. And they have these things, I think they call them reactors, and it's almost like if anyone ever cooks with sous vide, where you vacuum seal and it goes in that warm water, will make a tremendous steak if you've never done that. But so they're heated containers, and they can do it as a small batch. You find out which one you like. They then simply scale that up. So everything we tried that day was that 9.5-year hazmat Barton finished different ways. Ultimately, we chose that ice wine Riesling barrel, and so then they'll scale that up with the rest of it. We have Casey Jones and MB Roland. We haven't done those yet. I think we do that late next week. Going to try and get those in one trip. If anyone hasn't had Casey Jones, their stuff's great. They came and visited the Frankfurt Bourbon Society, I think last year, maybe early last year. Really impressed by them. MB Roland, I've always enjoyed them for kind of a unique approach, they take to things. Some of their, I forget what they call them, like, it's almost like the Kentucky fired tobacco where they smoke some of their grains. So looking forward to go there and learn a little bit more. We did the pick at Chicken Cock a while back, and I think it was right around 6 years old. Their proprietary distillate that's distilled at Bardstown, so it's their mash bill. And I was really impressed with that one.
That would be Greg Schneider's.
JC.
That would be Greg
Yeah.
Schneider's stuff, but and that's the stuff that he made those barrels. That barrel pick should be fantastic, and just that will be one I'll be dying for.
Yeah, no, I was, honest to goodness, just very impressed by that. James E. Pepper, that's another one. If you haven't gone there, it's on the distillery district in Lexington. Same thing. They're getting some serious age on their product. I think they're doing a really good job there. Jephthah Creed, we're going to go there, I think, this Friday. I think we're going to pick their 4-grain bourbon. Our title sponsor, Limestone Heritage. I'm really excited to go and do one there. I've tried a lot of their product. I'm going to visit them and try some things from the barrel. So I'm excited to go there and do a pick. Pursuit Spirits, we have coming up, I think, in August. Short Barrel, we're going to do a pick with them. Whiskey Thief. And so, if you didn't try the Whiskey Thief pick last year, you absolutely missed out. It was probably my favorite whiskey I tried last year. It was I think it was 6 years old, but 134 proof. And I think that slightly younger age at 6 years, I think the sweetness, helped knock that, the feel of that proof down a little bit. Absolutely love that one. Can't wait to see what we pick there this year. And then one other thing. So last year we had a little snafu with Dark Arts. They didn't have their license yet. And the distributor messed up and sent the wrong barrel pick from Dark Arts. I saw Macaulay at their grand opening, talked to him a little bit, and apparently it's still at the distributor, so I think they'll have it available at their booth this year. And it was I don't remember the stats on age or anything, but it was a bourbon finished in a Tokai barrel, and I love Tokai finish, so I'll be excited to actually buy one of those. So there's some great offerings. I think that's a lot to carry around the festival at one point, but thank goodness I think the local Capital City Shrine Club is going to be back this year and do the bottle check. If you didn't use that last year, or if it's your first time, just like a coat check, you buy 3 or 4 bottles, you can go up there, they will put them in an empty case, your name on a tag, and hold them for you, and then at the end of the festival, you can come back, grab however many boxes of whiskey you have and take that with you. Of course, Shriners, great cause there. We do make some donations to them, but don't be afraid to give them a tip if you use their service.
Yeah, that was great. Now, I don't have that problem because we got our own tent. That helps. But that's super exciting. You've increased the barrel picks immensely, and each tent every year, everybody keeps going forward. What would you say? And as they go forward, they learn what they can and can't do. So in some cases, there was a lot of distilleries that were doing some special releases last year, but I think all the distilleries were kind of going to get on. Plus, you've increased that. I mean, that is an awesome barrel pick lineup right there. I love what the rules that Kentucky has, how they changed the rules for you guys for the festivals, and the fact that this is a, once a year experience where you can pick up some bottles that you're you're never going to get. And from the collector's standpoint, I think this year, after all this happens, next year is going to be a challenge to get tickets, because now you're starting to get the people who are just going to be coming down there, and they're going to be looking for and searching for bottles, whereas a lot of that wasn't like the main thing that was happening the last couple of years. People want and were getting bottles, but they were there to try all the different whiskeys and see what they can have. Whereas I think you guys are really getting focused on bringing in some people that will be able to really, around the country that don't have an opportunity at this, and now they got a shot at getting some really, really good, not just Kentucky bourbon, but Indiana bourbon. You got all Ohio bourbon. I mean, it's going to be. I'm excited.
You mentioned Ohio bourbon. I love Middle West.
Oh.
Destiny, she has a continuing education up in Columbus every year, and while she's doing that, I usually go visit Middle West at some point. I love their product, love their tour. Nice bar, good food there. Just a great place to visit.
Have you met Ryan?
I have not.
Okay, so when I go there one time, how about I invite you up? Because meeting Ryan, the man who has put Jim Beam Distillery in Ohio, unlike anything in Ohio that we've ever seen, it would be great. I would love to. He sponsors the podcast. The man is, in my opinion, amazing. He's doing it all on his own. I mean, he runs that distillery. He started off with a craft distillery in 2012, dedicated to Ohio. He is now building, I think, I want to say a 15,000 barrel rick house every 3 months, but the construction company is his own. He's got his own construction company. He sources all Ohio grains, which, I mean, it's just fantastic what he's doing. Super, and I would love for you to meet him, Amzie.
I'd love to. Let me know.
And then, anytime if you need any help, I know you guys have the Frank. Any help on a barrel pick,
Mm-hmm.
I'll volunteer.
That could probably be arranged, can't it, Amzie?
Yeah.
I think
it probably could.
I'm kind of surprised he hasn't already been on one.
Me too, actually.
I always
Hey
take.
Jeff, I'll also real quick before I forget,
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to give a shout out to Andrew Camden. Hope he is healing up. Did he have his shoulder surgery the other day?
I did not. I saw the post of what he brought you guys as far as the barrels. That was pretty damn cool, wasn't it?
Yeah. Bourbon on the Banks logo. He and CT broke that down. I met him, I think, last week with that. So we'll have that on display at the festival. Hopefully we can kind of move it around, maybe have it there Friday night and also at the festival on Saturday. But just want to give Andrew a shout out. Really appreciated that. Hope he is doing well from his shoulder surgery and will heal up quickly.
Okay. Yeah, I did see that. I didn't know he was actually having shoulder surgery, but that's but same thing. I hope the best for Andrew. Andrew's a great guy. He has a talent, and he has served our country. So it's like great. He needs that. He needs that nerve damage was not fair.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right. Do you guys got anything for wrap up? What's and in the end, what's for dessert?
I wanted to, real quick about the Friday events. I feel like I kind of ran through them quick, but the bourbon pairing with the Limestone Heritage and Peggy Noe Stevens, that's the save is the rave. So if you're looking for an educational opportunity where you get to try some really good bourbon single cap and some really good food from Limewater, that's a great event. The Friday, we were talking about all the big bidders for the auction, but I also want to let people know that you don't have to have deep pockets and bid it high to enjoy that event. DFI has got a lot of really good silent auction items that are extremely approachable. And like we've talked about, having these exclusive pours. Susie's also working on some really cool big auction items. She had mentioned today she's working on a hunting trip to Argentina, which of course would be paired with a bottle of bourbon. But hopefully there's gonna be some really fun auction items in there.
Well,
And then
that takes you out of your comfort zone. A bourbon hunting trip to Argentina.
you never know. And then of course, like, we want people to bring their family if they want. You know, we've got that free event on Friday, Bourbon Street on Broadway, brought to you by Free Credit Union. It's gonna be bigger and better than ever. We've got several new performers that we've added. We've got a silent disco. We've got a ton of things going on. So that's completely free. You don't have to spend a dime, have a good time. So if you are coming for the festival and you're bringing your family and the kids and stuff, definitely go check out that event. You don't have to be a kid to enjoy it either. It's very fun if you are an adult as well.
Yeah, the street performers that you guys have all the time they're fantastic. I mean, as it gets dark, the fire juggler does a really, really good job. I mean, there's no doubt about how much fun is, and, families come down and they're eating their meals, and, the whole street is blocked off. So it's more like a block party, right? And then you were talking about Limestone Heritage is what you called it. Explain that. What?
They're our title sponsor.
Okay, but what is the difference between Limestone Branch and Limestone Heritage? This is new to me. I don't know how.
Completely different places.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're completely different places.
Yeah, so Limestone Heritage, they are constructing a new distillery in Georgetown, just right off the interstate. They will be, when they're up and going, I think they'll be the second largest pot still distillery behind Woodford Reserve. So they're going all in with their distillery. In the meantime, they're sourcing and blending products from various distilleries. Have some really good stuff, and yeah, we'll have to make sure you.
Right.
Let's get you in touch with them, Jeff.
Bourbon 30 used to be in Georgetown, right?
Yes.
Jay Mattingly now.
Yeah.
And they just sold.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
Jeff just sold out to someone else.
Okay.
Yeah, Cameron's gonna continue to work. Cameron Matting.
Okay.
Be there still.
Because I know Whatchamacallit just went to Larkin. What's Aaron? Aaron went over to Larkin, and so I figured things were changing. Yeah, but still, Cameron. I mean, if anybody's ever met Cameron, he's really good. He's a good personality for that. So he's staying on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because that was that's completely different. Now Limestone Branch will be there too, right?
Yes.
And they're one of your sponsors, Stephen Fonte. We always love that. I'm still
No, they're not a sponsor, but they will be at the event.
one of your event participants.
Right.
Sorry, not a sponsor. Yeah.
And he'll be in with Lux Rowe and Penelope. They all group together in one tent. It'll be a larger tent.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. It's all the same.
So Jeff, are you familiar with Brian Hara, the guy that did the book?
Yeah, he was
Bourbon
on. Yes.
Justice, I think.
Yeah, he was always on with Bourbon Pursuit when they do the talk. Yeah, he was on the podcast. He's fantastic. He's a lawyer too, right?
Yeah, the only reason I wanted to throw that in is some of the things he talks about in his book. So our title sponsor, they had to slightly change their name because there is a little bit of confusion between the two. So they were
Limestone Farm.
They were Limestone Farms, yeah, and then Limestone Branch wasn't happy with that, so they have now named to Limestone Heritage Distilling.
So they negotiated that with not negotiated, but they made sure that Limestone Heritage wasn't the same. I mean, with them,
Right.
They kind of came up with
They had
something.
to change to Limestone Heritage, yeah.
Although I can just tell you where my brain went was the special brand that Limestone Branch. You know what I mean? It was the heritage part of it. So I mean, that's just. But now that I know the difference, yes, I would love to meet
Yeah.
them. I mean, it's.
And I will say also that their new place is going to be, it's out closer to the interstate, across from, is it called Old
Old
Friends? Yeah,
Old Friends.
which is
Oh,
a thoroughbred racehorse, retirement farm.
Okay.
But they have big plans, you know, maybe some hotels, restaurants there. They're doing some serious work, and I can't wait until they are up and distilling their own product.
They're hosting people, and doing barrel picks and stuff out of their barn on the property there.
Yeah.
For all the storage and stuff, so.
So is Bluegrass up and running now too? Do they got that still running and everything?
Yeah.
Right
They'll be
in
at the event.
Kentucky.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of exciting new brands coming on, and you know, like we talking a little bit before, you know, the bourbon industry, as Renee was saying, it's kind of backed off a little bit, but it's still, compared to where it was just a couple of years ago, it's still booming. And I feel that this is such a good showcase for people who are coming on board and starting to, you know, so that you can taste their whiskey, but also get to know some of, you know, a lot of them, especially the ones that are new, they have their people at the festival. Not everybody has their people at the festival, but you know, last year, Freddie Johnson was walking around the whole time saying hi to everybody for Buffalo Trace. So, you know, there's so many different people that are out there. It's such a that part, when it comes to the stardom, there is a good amount of stuff that's happening in Frankfurt where the local celebrity bourbon people are showing up at the festival.
You know, and Mark Carter's been there the last few years just as an attendee, walking around.
Do you want to hear a cool story? On Sunday, I was sitting, my wife is a midwife, so she had 3 women in labor. She was at one of them, and I had nothing. I was just going to keep cleaning out the garage. We're cleaning out the garage, and all of a sudden I get a text from Christy, where's a good place to go for lunch in Canton? And my text back was, you guys are in Canton? So we ended up going to Gervasi, which is the distillery and a winery, and I had lunch with Mark and Christy, but then they came back for an hour, and they were sitting at my bar right down here. You know, it was one of those Sundays where my wife was working, the house was, I'm just like, you don't care if the house is a mess, and they're like, nope. So they came down, and I got to drink, the Old Carter number 9, my favorite batch, with Mark, who made it. It's just like those experiences, you know, for a Sunday when I didn't have any plans, all of a sudden that happens, you know. It's like, you know, a guy that makes one of your favorite whiskeys is all of a sudden down in the podcast studio at the bar sharing a pour, and that's what I love about everything. You know, if you guys are ever in the area, look us up, and we know all the places to go and whatever. So, you know, that's kind of how the friendship and the community works, right? I love the stories. And then AMSI, our bus tour coming up in September, and then I didn't know it, but David from is it Sandin? Is that what it's Sandlin? Sandlin, yes. He actually was booked on the bus tour. So I didn't know he was booked. I didn't put Dave and Dave together till I came down a couple weeks, and I just went over to House of Commons because I really had to get over there. He treated me great, and all of a sudden I'm like, you're on the bus tour, aren't you? And he's like, absolutely. So that's gonna be a really good day. All the different places we're gonna be going. So
yeah, looking forward to that.
yes. So all right. I mean, so talk about the Twilight tickets one time. Tell everybody where they could go to get the Twilight ticket. And I think we sold them on coming down and going for the Twilight, and then just sticking around for the party.
Yeah, absolutely. Just go to bourbon-themed.org and buy tickets. You'll scroll down past the ones that say sold out, and the Twilight will be right there. They're only $55, so you get in from 4 p.m. till 6 p.m. And that after party starts at 5 and goes till 9. So, you know, it's definitely worth it.
Okay. Oh. All right, and then just your website is fantastically easy to use. I was on it and everything, and how you use it and how it's set up, and everything is there. I mean, all the different events that are the free events are there. I mean, also, you know, your drink riverboat experience, which is they're using the what's the brand? The guy who ages his whiskey on the river, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ingram. The
Yeah.
Ingram. Yeah.
Yeah.
O.H. Ingram,
O.H. Ingram.
river-aged whiskey.
Yeah. They changed the logo, and now it's the Ingram Distillery, I think. So I don't know if they changed the name, but I have to keep up with so many distilleries as it is, and then they start changing their name, and it's too much.
Well,
Definitely come early, go to that. The kickoff event at Whiskey Thief, you know, has gotten bigger and better every year. I'm sure they'll have a great band again this year. I don't know if Walter's listening or not,
He
but
is.
A saying that I've learned from him that I've heard out there, I've spent a lot of time at Whiskey Thief, is that losers have meetings and winners have parties. If you come and go to the kickoff out there Thursday, you will certainly be a winner, because it is always a good party at Whiskey Thief.
So Tom Morrow, who is from Limestone Heritage, right? He said LF Heritage Distilling is his rebranded name, so it's LF Heritage, and then their new place is being built on Paynes Road, 2,500 gallon pot stills, hotel housing, 4,000 seat amphitheater, and by the time it's all, that's what's going to happen by the time it's all finished being built. That's just, and so thanks that Tom's on, and he was talking to Walter, so there you go.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And I mean, honestly, you guys, I'm so looking forward to this year. I really feel a little bit, the whole industry after last year, I think everybody didn't know exactly, but everybody seems to be on board, and it just seems to be, it's going to be super exciting, and I'm looking forward to it this year. All right. Is that good? Did we do a good job?
That's good. Hey, Jeff, thanks for having us on again. We appreciate
Yeah.
your participation every year. We appreciate being on the podcast every year. It's awesome.
Well, what's really cool is that 4 years ago, there wasn't I didn't have the following I have now. So, you know, we probably got about 1,500 people that'll watch on YouTube, and another 5, 6, 7,000 on Facebook, and then, you know, another 1,000 through audio. So that's just, my reach is just going off the charts. Now, there's a lot of people tonight that are in India that know about Bourbon on the Banks, because there's a lot of people who follow me from there, but that's kind of exciting. But I'm ecstatic, and thank you guys for every year coming on, hosting this event, and, you know, welcome, you know, Amzie, from the time when you convinced me to come to the festival to now, I thank you for everything, and, you know, you've just become a great friend. I look forward to every time hanging out with you and Destiny, and, you know, and doing the things that we've done. We've been on barrel picks, we've had our shirts off. There's been a lot of things.
Yeah, come on.
That's not something everybody wants to see all the time.
No.
Amzie's way more comfortable taking his shirt off than I am, but, you know, that's neither here nor there. But fantastic. I really appreciate it. You know, everything, and I look forward to this festival immensely. All right, everybody.
Thank you for representing with your shirt tonight.
It's nice.
Well,
I mowed the grass. I had to grill some food real quick for the girls, and then I intended to change into mine, and I forgot, and I realized that when I saw your shirt, Jeff. So thank you. Diane's got hers on.
Yeah,
Renee, we got to step up our game next
I
time.
know. Well, I did I did bring my bourbon on the bank's glass.
Okay.
There you go. There you
Mine
go.
are in storage.
Well, yeah, you get a pass this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also, I love my wife, my t-shirt collection in the armoire up in the room. My wife's like, that's gonna tip over. She's like, you can't buy any more. I'm like, I can too. I love swag, and you guys, every year when it's out there, I'm always looking for a hat. I'm looking for t-shirts, hoodies, the whole 9 yards. So that's but you guys, once again, and that's gonna, you have merchandise now. Is it for that'll be for sale at the festival, right, Amzie? You
Right.
gotta save me a 3XL. Just save me one.
We'll have to make sure we order some 3XLs.
Yeah.
So,
Well, we do.
okay.
It's a popular size.
Yeah, and it's always the size that when I've actually a couple times at other festivals gone in on like the VIP, and I'm there the first night, and and all the 3XLs are already sold out. I'm like, how is that possible? So yeah, that's although I am getting into a 2XL, so that's working too. But I like to just be safe with the 3XL because it'll always fit, opposed to 2XLs go away in the winter and then come back in the summer. Anyways, all right, you guys. Everybody out there, thanks Amzie, Diane, Renee. Again, this has been super. I look forward to seeing you, Amzie, in September, and maybe see you around, all around. I'm going to be around. And then also, you guys, we know how fast Bourbon and Banks is going to be here. And you guys picked the right weekend. That first weekend in October, the weather in Kentucky, this year when they announced that the other festival, Kentucky Bourbon Festival, was another week earlier. I'm just like, oh my God, it's going to be another week hotter. But hopefully it dries out in Kentucky and everything's good. We'll have a nice warm but cool enough dry fall, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the plan.
All right, everybody.
We're our first year was August, and we really had an unseasonably cool weekend
Yeah.
for it. So I hope our friends over at KBF, I hope they have a beautiful and comfortable weekend this year.
Even in the third weekend, the last couple of years, it's hot. The thing we bring is a box fan.
Yeah.
It's just like you sit in there and you just cook. But yes, all right. So everybody, www.scotchybourbonboys.com for all things Scotchy Bourbon Boys. And remember to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and X. Also, all the major podcast formats, including Apple, iHeart, Spotify. But not only, whatever way you watch or listen to us, make sure that you like, listen, subscribe, and leave good feedback. And then remember, good bourbon and whiskey equals good times and good friends. Make sure that you drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive, and live your life as Walter says, uncut and unfiltered. And AI is going to take us out with our new theme song.
Drinking whiskey on the rocks, or sipping on a pond. We love to spend time with our crew. Listen along and find out how that can be you. Spending time with the boys, you don't want to miss us. It's just twice a week. Whether it's Ohio, Kentucky, Milwaukee, or South Carolina, you listen along, let's have a good time. We make sure to leave the bad times behind. Bourbon is the blood that makes a lifelong bond with our friends and neighbors, even some across the pond. I can't wait until the next time we meet, because I'm always looking for the next bourbon. Yes, please, I'll have it neat. So show me the way to another whiskey bar, where it'll be. It won't be too far. With friends and family close, we will never be alone. Remember, the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. by the fire. We will be there for you all the way down to the last ember. Bourbon is the blood that makes a lifelong bond with our friends, our neighbors, even some across the pond. I can't wait until the next time we meet, because I'm always looking for the next bourbon. Yes, please, I'll have it neat. So show me the way to another whiskey bar, where it'll be. It won't be too far. With friends and family close, we will never be alone. Remember, the Scotchy Bourbon boy. I got your back when you're listening to us by the fire. We'll be there for you all the way down to the last ember.
Right now, we're still live on Facebook and YouTube, but this is where I bring in people usually. But I know you guys got to go. I'll send it out there. If anybody can stay, there might be a couple people who want to come in and ask questions. You know, I just open up the meeting. But if you guys got to go, let me. I know Diane, you wanted to do it early because we. so that's up to you guys. One way or another, if you want to go, then that's fine. Right now would be the time. But you want to stay, Amzie?
Few minutes, yeah.
We
Okay.
can stay for a few more minutes.
All right.
Yeah.
I will quick. A lot of times, the guys that have been on, Randy will jump in. So that he was on, but you know it was a little bit earlier. But actually, YouTube has been really good. For as early as it was, I wasn't sure because a lot of times my main people come on after 9 o'clock, and that's when it picks up. But obviously tonight and portraying it, there was a lot of people who were interested. All right, let me quick send out the invite. So, did you guys like the new format? I was a little bit more professional than I have been in the past, right?
So is the music new to you then?
What? The music? What was it a question?
Is it new?
Yes, that last song, I've been having an absolute blast with. I think it's called Soul. Wait, what's it called? It's right here. Suno. It's like you write the lyrics and then you tell it the genre, and you can even add like a band that you want it to sound like. So you could say like that one was rock and roll blues, and it basically takes your lyrics and gives you like 5 or 6 different versions of it in however, with the guy singing it with the band. There was just one of the cool things that was just out there was there was a song on YouTube that went out. Okay, let's see. There you go. It went out and just making sure it worked. Yep, it did. Anybody who wants to come on, there's an invite. Walter, if you want to come on, or Tom, fine. But it went viral and had massive amounts of views and sold. The download is it's successful, song. And they announced today or yesterday that it was AI. It was a half. It's like the people can perform it. They're a band, but they wrote it for AI. AI sang it, and the song went. So in other words, you can do something. It's crazy what you can do. I mean,
I've been having some fun with Chat GPT and our friend Bo Cumberland with some images here lately. So
yeah, nice wheelchair.
yeah,
I'm like, Amzi's, you were dressed well.
yeah, I know. I don't know why I had a suit on in that one, but yeah.
All right. It could be early. Let's give it one. Thanks for all the information. Yeah, I don't know if some of the people are hanging around or whatnot. Let's just give them a couple more seconds, and then we can end it if no one comes on. That's fine.
Is We should have given a shout out to Bo Cumberland because he's the one who does all of our filming, our undressing bourbon and the barrel pick videos. He's phenomenal.
He's
And
done.
he's great to work with.
He goes on our bus tour every year. Okay, it's not working. All right, I'll try it again. He's saying that I'll just bourbon on the. I'll try it one more time. Copy invitation. I must have screwed it up somehow. I'm good at that. All right, one more time. Control. There it is. Now let's see if he can make it work this time. All right, hopefully he can. He's like Randy's trying to come on. No, but Bo, he went on our bus tour. He's going to be on the bus tour again. Actually, Heather was going to come on, and I think that's when you asked me about that initially. When Destiny was going to come on, that was Heather had said she couldn't make it, or something like that. So, anyways, it all worked out. I tried it. It usually takes a little bit of delay because when I do it on, it's the Facebook's running a little bit behind from the. But if that doesn't work, it makes no sense.
To a guy today that he evidently came to Frankfurt earlier in the year and fell in love with it, and the people here talked him into coming back for Bourbon on the Banks Festival, and he's bringing himself and 9 of his best friends from Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah, I can. I mean, honestly, I when I came a couple weeks ago, I was going to do a podcast at Whiskey Thief because as a sponsor, I have to guarantee 2 in person, and then I give them up to there can be 3 or 4 Zoom. And I was coming in for the in person, and then that's the weekend that his wife came down with. She had COVID, so the next morning he was going to see me that night, but they were a little bit tired. So she tested positive, so he was like, I'm not sure. And then he had it and then they went on vacation a week later and everything. But once again, it's not the worst thing in the world anymore to have that. Everybody's got some immunities and stuff like that. So he said it was just like the 2 of them felt much better early, within 3 days. So it worked out, but I missed him. So I was a little bit bummed, but that allowed me to go out. I was staying at the Fairfield Inn, and I just went to House of Commons, hung out there, walked around, and it was that city is. It's like you'll find a place that you'll always want to come back to, right? Honestly. All right, well, he would have been on by now. Oh, there he is. He figured it out. Randy's been a little bit apart. He is his claim that when I met him, he calls himself the whiskey doctor. He's a retired dentist, and what's cool, nice.
Mm-hmm.
There's what he's sipping on. But what's cool is he does our foreign whiskey when we do other things across the board. And honestly, what's really cool is we call it Whiskey Without Borders. So we had our first episode, and it was a German rye, a rye from Germany, which was cool. And now the next one, which I believe is August 3rd, we're going to be doing an Israeli whiskey. I mean, I didn't even know there was an Israeli whiskey, so he's kind of come through for us. Are you there, Randy?
I am.
So,
I had to come in through a back door. For some reason, my phone wasn't responding.
okay.
So I had to come in through the computer. And I have not done my hair, that's why I'm wearing a ball cap, sorry. At least I have hair to do, so I'm
Yeah.
grateful.
Yeah, that's a cut on me, right?
No, not directed at you at all.
Anyways, did you, as far as, do you have any questions for them? I mean,
I actually do. I tried to get tickets, and the only things I could find were designated driver and Twilight. Designated driver allowed you to be there a lot longer, like from 2 to 5.
but you can't drink. What's the purpose of that? You can be our,
Right, that's my question. What are you allowed to do with that? Are you allowed to buy whiskey, just not drink it, or?
No, you're not allowed to buy it. You're not allowed to sample it. You're allowed to, enjoy the event and the music, and you can, eat food and purchase stuff from the merchants. But your job is to be the driver.
Okay.
So, and they, we offer that. I know a lot of festivals don't, but we offer that because we really do put safety first. We want our people to get home safely, and they come in with groups.
Right.
Typically we don't have somebody just show up as a designated driver by themselves. They're there to do a job, so we give them a good deal.
Okay, well, that's how I signed up because I couldn't get in any other way.
well, I would suggest taking,
I've got a couple of other possibilities, but I'm not sure.
no, you should take the Twilight.
I'll look at that. I may just get the Twilight. I've got a wedding that following weekend, so getting the house pass to be gone 2 or 3 weekends in a row could be interesting, because I live down in Florida. But I look forward to trying to get up there anyway.
Sure. And if you
Oh, the other
if you wanna-
question.
Wait, hold on,
I'm sorry, you went muted somehow.
hold on, Rand.
we-
Go ahead, Diane.
Jeff, I can't hear you right now. Let me see if I bumped something. Oh, okay,
Can you hear us now?
I can, thank you.
Okay,
Um,
so go with
the
Diane.
other-
Diane had an answer for you. What?
Oh,
Go
I
with
didn't
Diane.
I was just gonna offer to put you on the waiting list if you would like to be on the waiting list for an earlier ticket. There's no guarantee, but I would
Okay.
suggest getting a Twilight ticket, and then if you are able to get a better ticket, we can refund your Twilight ticket.
Okay, and I'll have you refund the designated driver ticket and get the Twilight then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My other question.
Yeah, shoot me
Okay, if again, but she said shoot me an email, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My other question, I know at Kentucky Bourbon Festival last year, I went, to their auction. I bought a Pappy 20 and a bunch of other good stuff. Are you allowed to go to the auction with a regular ticket? Or do you have to have a VIP ticket to go to the auction Friday night?
Yeah, it's a separate event.
Yeah, separate event that requires its own ticket.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you could buy that right now. There are tickets available to the VIP auction, correct?
Correct.
Okay, I just need to find that on the site, because that's probably, the auction part or the charitable part is probably the most important as far as I'm concerned. Because if you see behind me, I've got plenty of whiskey, and that's a fourth of it. So
Awesome.
I
That's
do like supporting good causes.
Perfect.
Well, and I think something else about our festival is, with 80 plus distilleries there, a lot of them are craft distilleries. And, it may be a chance for you to try a few that you haven't tried yet. And that's one thing I always enjoy about it, to kind of showcase the craft distilleries, to try some new things. And of course, a lot of them will have a distiller there, and you can ask them what they're doing and,
Excuse me.
why they're doing it that way.
yeah.
Well, I look forward to that. I've visited well over 100 distilleries, so a bunch of them are craft distilleries. So
Yeah.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, there's a lot there. I mean, it's crazy how many you got this year. I mean, it's fantastic. It's old and new. You're well represented.
That sounds.
Another one that I don't know if we really mentioned again, Jeff, but Benson Valley Bourbon, they're sponsoring one of the bands, I think, for the Afterparty. So they are really kind of across the river and up Benson Creek. And at one point it was 21 Brands Distillery. That's where Ezra Brooks was made. And so they have kind of reopened, sourcing everything right now. They've purchased a small still. I don't know if they're really going to start distilling or not, but fun place to visit while you're in town.
Yeah, and then also Ben Holiday, right? Holiday, that is a good distillery. That I
Yeah,
love.
down what, Kansas City?
Yeah.
Or something?
No, out of Weston, Missouri.
Yeah.
Okay, I knew they were out there somewhere. So.
That's one of the ones I've been to.
Mhm.
Is it too late for distilleries to sign up?
Not necessarily.
Okay. I've got a friend that owns one that I think might be a good, I'll talk to him and see if he's interested.
Yeah, just have them shoot us an email and, I think we have agreed to go up to 100 if we need to. So
And your
due to
name
the
is-
fact that we can expand our footprint this year, we have a little bit more room to add some more, so.
Okay, well, I will run it by him. Now, the email that I send or give them is just info at, or at what?
Nope,
I'll
it's bourbononthebase@gmail.com.
Okay.
That's easy. What was there was one, right? I had a question again, but now it's gone.
Wait till you're 65, that happens even more.
Oh, it's happening enough right now.
Well, guys, thank y'all so much for being here and sharing your time and your expertise and your information. Look forward to meeting you guys there and seeing what all that's about. I like Bardstown. I like Frankfurt. I actually went to kindergarten over at Fort Knox years and years and years and years ago.
So, question, two, is the coffee gonna be there along with, last year you had some, breweries there too, or is that not this year?
Yeah, we're, being at the state is gonna be there.
Okay,
Yes, and then we will definitely have some breweries, and this year we're actually having beer for sale by the can, which we've never done before. I've always had a lot of requests for it, but I think that helps when you've got people who are coming with people who are not a bourbon drinker, and it gives them something to do, and so we'll see how it goes.
I agree with that because like you got a lot of people who are fans of bourbon, but even most festivals for me, at one point you get that palate fatigue, and and then there's more bourbon or whatever, and then that can where if you could rest and have a beer, and that's the what I mean, that definitely could be something that could. I don't think it will cause people to get further intoxicated. I just think it'll, especially if it's a really nice, beautiful day, it's a little bit, beer's a little bit more refreshing than bourbon is. Bourbon is great, but that's where a lot of the mixed drinks and everything come. One thing, Whiskey Thief, I mean, that's one of the phenomenal things that they've got a barrel there, and they take their experience right to you guys. It's amazing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Love that.
A lot of fun there.
Yep. This is like I said, thanks so much. Fantastic. And if you guys want to head out, that'll be great. And Randy, if you want to stay on a little bit further, I'll talk to you a little bit. But I thank you guys.
All right, Randy,
Appreciate
make
that.
sure you stop by and say hello.
Absolutely will. I look forward to
Yeah,
it.
definitely. I'll look
Look
for your
forward to
email.
meeting
Thanks, and I'll be up to Kentucky at the end of this month. I've got to do a barrel pick with Kentucky Bourbon Festival. So I'm looking forward to it.
Have fun. Have a
They
safe trip.
sold out a ticket so fast there was only one left for me to buy.
Oh my God.
Well, at least you got one.
No,
Yeah.
listen to the one he got.
Do what?
Tell him which one you got.
President's Club.
Mhm.
Yeah, he can. He can do some nice. You can afford a bottle for charity. That's for sure. There,
Mhm.
Mr. Ford. And Amzie, if contact me if you want me to come on a barrel pick. That would be
Okay.
fun. I would enjoy that.
Yeah, certainly do that. Give me a shout next time you're down too.
I'm down that August 17th, 18th, and 18th, 19th, and 20th. I think that I'm
Mhm.
and Friday I got Ross Cordellison and I'm staying but then Saturday I'm doing a podcast with Barry from the new distillery, and I don't have any plans for Saturday night then.
Okay.
So I'll
Anytime you're down, let me know.
okay, and then I'll probably Sunday go to Whiskey Thief. I'll talk to Walter about that. Okay,
Well, thanks
All right.
for having us. I'm gonna get out of here.
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah, appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks, Jeff.
good night,
I'm gonna head out too.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank y'all so much. Bye.
All right.
bye.
Yeah.
All right. I got to run too. Jeff, seriously, give me a shout next time you're down.
Yep, I will, I'll let you know.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Thank
Nice to
you.
meet you,
Thanks,
Randy.
Amzie.
Nice to
All
meet
right.
you, Lindsay.
All right. Bye.
Now, Amzi's with Whiskey Thief, right?
No,
Well,
Amzie is with the Frankfurt Bourbon Society,
Okay.
and I think there is one, he's like heavy into investing into barrels. Like
Okay.
the company that he works with, they purchased, and I could be wrong, RD1 and what Barry Brinegar was doing, I think Amzie could be a little bit involved with that, or something
Oh.
like that. So, but Amzie, the Frankfurt Bourbon Society, okay, and two, if Super Nash doesn't come down, I will have an extra pass for the Scotchy Bourbon Boys.
Okay.
And you've been on the podcast, so, and have been on it twice, so I only get base, just know, Randy, I get base comp stuff, okay?
Right.
So my base is my wife, me, CT, and Super Nash. It pretty much tops out right at that point. And then on this one, whiskey comes along, so I could get 5. But if Super Nash doesn't come, I'll see if I'll have you come in with us.
Okay.
Okay?
Well, just let me know, because the event that I'd be most interested in is probably that Friday night event.
The Friday night event, you can just go buy tickets right now.
Right, and that's what I'll do.
And that event's amazing. Now, I'm gonna be talking to Walter because I did not know if they were associated, if he could get me in, if he wanted to get me in, whatever. I don't know about that, but the last year he was able to get, me in or whatever, once again. But that should be pretty fantastic.
Sounds like it would be.
I-
Walker's probably still tied up for another 45 minutes, because it's still 4 something there, and they have class from 3 to 4:30.
This was way
This
more
is- it is, right.
more successful. So we had a guy on from Algeria. His name
Okay.
was Okacha.
Okay,
And then we
yeah.
had Tomo. I was here months ago. MB been on holiday at HMP. That's much okay. Greetings. Oh, come on. I had it. Greetings from Germany.
Mhm.
Bless your family. Thank you. And then finished ice wine barrel sounds damn interesting. It was. It sure did, didn't it?
Yeah,
Southern Maryland. And he's drinking E.H. Taylor small batch. That's Joe Waters if he's still on. Happy Tuesday. 1 vodka shot for me, buddy. That was soulful. Hello from Russia. That is.
and And these people are up at like, depending on where in Russia, 2 a.m., midnight, well, not midnight, 1 a.m., 3 a.m., 5 a.m.
So what am I drinking, Randy? I haven't had anything tonight.
I can tell, and you actually sounded very clear the whole thing.
Yeah, if I have guests, it's not a drink night.
That's good, and that's good. That is good. I don't know if you have this, but I'm gonna open this tomorrow with a friend.
Leopold Brothers 3-chamber. Save that for me. I've been wanting to try that for a while.
Well, I'll save a little bit.
I got the. Do you have the Leopold Brothers where it's 3-chamber mixed with It was what was it? What was the other distillery? They did a collaboration.
I think it's Dickel. Let me look. I've got it back here. Can you take us off alive on Facebook?
In a little bit.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna stay seated then.
Yeah, stay seated because right now YouTube is doing too good.
Okay. Yeah, I've got the Leopold 3-chamber up here somewhere. I'd have to dig through a bunch of bottles to find it.
So here's let's just really quick go over the distilleries at Bourbon on the Banks. 15 stars. 1620 Distillery, Angel's Envy, Balance, Bardstown Bourbon Company, Bargo 459, Barrel Craft Spirits. I haven't heard much out of them, so I want to find out what's happening there. The Barrel House Distilling Company, which is in Lexington by James E. Pepper. James E. Pepper, Lexington, and then RD1 was in there for a while, but they're moved out. And there's another distillery there too, but someone told me what it was, but I don't remember what it was. Then there's Benson Valley Bourbon, Bespoken Spirits, which you heard what he was saying. I wish you wouldn't have mentioned it as rapid aging because Buffalo Trace rapid ages, but they don't say anything about it. They just put it's a 9-year, and that's that, right?
I didn't hear what he said about Bespoken, but I know they moved.
Oh,
they were out west and they moved to Kentucky.
They picked a 9-year Barton's finished in an ice. What did he? An ice wine.
Oh yeah, okay, I did hear that. I didn't know. I didn't hear the first as who it was.
Yeah, that was Bespoken Spirits. So that's really cool.
But I've got several of Bespokes.
There's Bluegrass Distillery and Bluegrass Vineyards, Blue Rook Distillery, Boundary Oak, Brothers of the Leaf, Bro Brothers, Buffalo Trace, Burton James.
Do you know many of those?
Okay, I'll say which ones I know. Buzzard's Roost, yeah, obviously. Capital Cellars, yeah. Casey Jones, yeah. Castle and Key, yeah. Chicken Cock, yeah. Clyde Mays, yeah. Coalpick, no. DAAD Distilling Company. There's Bro Brother. I do not. I see the picture, but I've never had it. And then
Brothers.
Dark Arts. Did you hear of Sarah from Chad and Sarah from It's Bourbon Night is working at Dark Arts? Damn,
I heard y'all mention that tonight.
Yeah. I'm gonna get a hold of Sarah. Dueling Grounds Distillery, 5 Springs.
Dueling Grounds is out of. Oh, where are they out of? One of the local Global Barrel was doing a barrel pick where you could buy your own barrel of Dueling Grounds a few months ago. I think they're out of northern Kentucky.
I've never heard of this, but it's called FKNG Bourbon. Fuck you.
Oh yeah, FKNG, and they sell it at Total Wines.
Fortune Fool.
Don't know that one.
4 Branches. That's Greg's new place.
Right.
4 Roses. Spirit of French Lick. We all know that. Fresh Bourbon, General George.
Don't know that one.
Goodwood is out of. That's just Frankfurt. That's a restaurant, and they do that. Then Green River, Hard Truth, Hartfield and Company, which is a fantastic distillery in Paris, Kentucky.
I bought a couple of their specialty bottles.
I went to their special 9-year release and bought a bottle from there. Then Harkin Edwards Holiday. It used to be Ben Holiday, but they changed it to Holiday now, right?
Right, yeah.
James E. Pepper, obviously. Jay Mattingly, obviously. Jepler Creed. Kentucky Peerless Distilling. King County Distillery. That's a pretty good distillery, right? They produce.
I've got a barrel aging at Kings County. I've got a full
But that
barrel
King
on
County
mine.
Distillery has that typewriter logo, right? Where
Right.
it doesn't have anything but what it is.
This one right here.
Yep. All right. Larkin, Leaper's Fork, Lexington. Lexington, what? I don't need. Let's see. Lexington Brewer and Distillery. I think actually, I don't know. Is that? You know what that is?
I think they're affiliated with, oh crap. I've got a bottle here from them that they gave me. Give me a second. Town Branch. I think they're affiliated with Town Branch.
Yeah, I do too.
Matter of fact, let me look on my Town
Limestone Branch. And then the guy who makes this, LF,
What?
Tom, hey, cheers, Matt. Matt Leisen. He's at a baseball game or he jump on. Let's see. Tom Moreau is LF Heritage Distilling. They were limestone something distilling, and Limestone Branch was not, so they changed it to LF Heritage Distilling. They're the
The
sponsor.
Lexington Distilling Company is who does Town Branch.
Right.
So I've got a bottle of Town Branch right here. You can probably see it.
Uh-huh. I do see it.
Did you see where they inscribed my name on it? Or
I'm a fan of them inscribing your name on it. That would.
I was too. I like that fact more than I like. Well, actually, I haven't tried this since it had time to mature, so it might be pretty good. I opened this one last night for the first time.
Nice.
There was Walker and John and I were on together.
Oh, where?
Just on Zoom about midnight or 1.
Oh, you guys just did a Zoom meeting?
Yeah, I just sent them a text saying, anybody want to talk about nothing in particular?
Oh, you texted me that late last night. I got that text, but I was asleep.
Okay, well, it was actually meant for them because I figured you would be. Because Walker was 3 hours behind and John didn't have to work, so I didn't expect that you would actually get on. But it was easier to use that text thread than.
I always use it. I enjoy being invited to stuff. Don't leave me out.
Okay.
I sometimes can't make it, but I always want to know. CT loves to leave me out. Lux Rowe, Mary Dowling, MB Rowland, McBriar.
Now, MB Rowland is Willett, isn't it?
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure MB Rowland's a Willett product. Give me a second.
Then McBriar, McTavish, Middle West. Never Say Die. What's this one? New Era Whiskey and Spirits. Headline Worthy Whiskey. Never heard of that. That sounds good. Old Forester.
Era?
Yeah. Old Forester's gonna be there, which is cool. Old Limestone Mixing Water. That I actually have his stuff. He's pretty cool. Old Louisville. That's what you use to proof down. It's pure limestone water that's designed for proofing down your barrel proofs. Old Louisville, another our sponsor. Preservation, which I love. Steelhouse, One Shot Winery, Penelope. They said Limestone Branch, Penelope, and Lux Row will all have one big giant tent. Pensive.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I buy that limestone water too.
Pensive, Pony Boy Slings. What's that?
Who?
Pony Boy Slings.
Never heard of it.
Me neither. Gonna find out about that. Pursuit Spirits, which we love them.
That's Pursuit United, right?
Yep. RD1. River, which we love Barry. We're gonna find out about. I'm gonna see that. River Green, Rivulet, 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 Artesian Pecan. That actually is really good. Honestly, they were there last year, and that artesian pecan liquor was insane. I mean, it's short barrel. Did you ever hear of short barrel?
Of course.
I
It's in Short Barrels out of Norcross, Georgia.
Okay. Southern Collective. 10,
He buys literally short barrels and then blends them.
okay. So 10-day bourbon. Bard's gonna be there. The Bond. Ingram Distillery. What's this one?
Ingram's, you know Ingram?
No. Thorn. I know
Ingram makes
Laura
a really,
Ingram.
really good rye. They're out of, it's Indiana stuff. They're headquartered in Nashville, though. I'm pretty sure. Rowan's Creek. Yeah, it says Rowan's Creek is hand drawn by Evan Colesveen himself. So it is a Willett product.
MB Roland.
Oh, I put in, let me see. I put Rowan's. Let me redo that.
It's not. Yeah. Roland. ROLAND.
ROLAND is what I put.
MB Roland.
I didn't put MB, so let's
Did
try
you
that.
hear
Yeah, here we go.
Thornbush?
That's out of Pembroke, Kentucky, it says.
Town Branch, we know that. So Town
Yeah.
Branch and their brewery is going to be there.
Right.
True Story Whiskey, Versailles Brewing, Versailles
Versailles.
Brewing
Versailles.
Company, West Six Brewing, Whiskey Thief, Wilderness Trail, and Woodinville Whiskey, which I believe is out. Woodinville, isn't that out of Wisconsin?
Yeah, I believe it is Wisconsin. It's Wisconsin or Minnesota, somewhere up there.
Look at it says special guests. Bourbon Women, Bourbon Society, Frankfurt Bourbon Society, Lexington Bourbon Society, and the Scotchy Bourbon Boys.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy from Bourbon Women, whose mother helps with Bourbon Women today. He's getting a bottle of George T. Stagg.
So
And Scotchy Bourbon Boys, they're special guests. I'm glad they were smart enough to realize that. That's cool.
then the Big Bourbon Club, Bourbon Road, it's Bourbon Night, the Bourbon Society, Whiskey Chicks, and then Bourbon and Women. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to be now featured artisans, Copper Still, Elite Wrights Woodcrafts, Whiskey by the Glass, Bourbon Barrel Furniture, Copper Still, Creative Candle, Elite Engraving, Premium Fitz Root Beer. I'm gonna drink some of that. Georgians. Let's see what this is. Oh, it doesn't Get Lit. Then Good Ash Cigars, so there's a cigar place. Hanson's Harvest, Joe Brett's Ice Cream, Kim Perry Studio, and the Last Cut Crystal, Paris Printing, Stave and Bean, they'll do the coffee, Stone Fence Tours, I don't know what that one is, Whiskey by the Glass.
Stone Fence Tours is probably either a bourbon tour.
Oh yeah, it's a bourbon tour. I think actually Christy used to work for them, right? Woodcrafts, Old Fashioned, Bourbon and Fire, Bourbon Barrel. You heard what happened to me, right?
To you?
Yeah. Did I tell you what happened on Sunday?
Good. Sunday, yeah, you called me and told me. You called Walker and told him.
Yeah, I was excited if you haven't noticed.
Yeah, well, you told me that was the best day of your life, and I reminded you had gotten married and had kids. So it was your best bourbon day.
It was, dude, there's not that many times that I still haven't had anything. I just have to have here's my Scotchy Bourbon Boys Glen.
I was going to suggest, if you have an Antique 107, especially a store pick, which I don't have,
No, I don't. Store picks always change it.
or if you have a Blanton's Gold handy, I've got one of those.
I've never had a Blanton's Gold, but I got Blanton's straight from the barrel, and then I've had the Blanton's Red Tokachi.
Tokachi?
Oh my God, that was
I haven't had that. I'm thinking about getting one of those.
it's a Tuesday.
My major professor is in Taiwan right now. I'm going to have him grab me some of the stuff from Taiwan.
Well, let's do a really cool pour from the the bus tour.
I may not have it. What is it?
Yellowstone, rum cask finished, signed by the Stephen Fonte.
Mine is definitely not signed. I'm going to kill my my video while I go grab one of my
Okay.
Yellowstones. There we go. Now I can get up and get the Yellowstone without. I didn't dress appropriately for television.
It's all right.
Did you say, am I all right? Yeah.
I said it's all right.
Oh, okay, good. Yellowstone. We'll have to run to the closet to find stuff. That's a shame. Here's the Yellowstone that Walker gave me. What do you think?
You left me.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
So I've got a hand-picked Yellowstone that Walker gave me, but it says it's Blackjack's liquor, single barrel. Doesn't tell me anything else. It's not rum finished, so I'm sure yours will be more to my palate.
Is it okay to smoke here? Anybody watching can do whatever they want, as far as I'm concerned. I cannot. That is not.
Yeah, I can't.
When you're on video for YouTube or Facebook, it is not good to promote tobacco.
Yeah.
So
I smoke anyway, so.
an update. I'm in my 6th week of working out, and it's starting to kill me but pay off.
I heard you went from 3X to 2X. That's wonderful.
This is a 2X, and normally that's not something that would look good.
And now I need an update. Did all the babies come out okay?
All of them came out okay. Yeah, she's
Good.
actually out tonight doing another. So it really worked out good because now she can go this weekend with me to see our grandson. So that's gonna be fun. We're gonna grab our granddaughter and go up there. I haven't mentioned anything. I'm missing my grandchildren at the moment, but right now, okay. So YouTube's kicking in again. I'm sipping on a Yellowstone rum cask finish that I picked up on the bus tour last year, Stephen Fonte. It's a fantastic finish. One thing that I'm hoping that they've got those Rocky Patels at Limestone, and I love those bottles. Those bottles are their barrel picks out of the distillery. I have those. I have so much of everything, Randy.
Yeah. This is a Limestone hand-picked single barrel for Blackjack Liquors. Now, here's a Limestone product that you may or may not have because it's not your wheelhouse, but it is wonderful. And Stephen Bean and I were talking about it last time we were talking together. If I can spot it.
So I believe Knobs is coming on.
This one right here. It's their rye. Like I said, it's.
I like
not
mine.
your
Yeah,
wheelhouse,
minor
but
case.
It's a rye, but it's really good.
Minor case.
Yeah, minor case. I think you have one, but.
Oh, of course I have one. I don't. Oh, it's just where it is. I have. That's just crazy. Hopefully,
I actually like the minor case better than I like this store pick. think this store pick may be a little higher proof than what I'm. No, it's not. It's only 115. It's right there in the middle where I like the really low or the really high.
Well, this Yellowstone is 100.
And see, that would be right there. That's right. 80 to 100 I really like, and then 135 plus or 130 plus I really like.
I love the Yellowstone brand, actually. You know
Yeah.
that. I do. They just, this one actually has the picture of the historic entrance that exists there. It's kind of, if you ever go, I believe that's when you come in on the north exit. The northwest exit. So there's a northwest exit, there's a northeast exit that we left one year, and that's going like through the part of the remote part of the Rockies that's just crazy.
Oh, you're talking about Yellowstone itself.
Yes. But
Okay, I was thinking about the distillery. I'm like, well, I know the north exit, but
no. This is the picture on this one. If you look at it, it's not the upper falls like it usually is. It's the picture of that famous the exit that was there for what was it? That's the original entrance into the park that they've never torn down. It's kind of ridiculous because it's just, there used to be a building and everything. All there is the entrance left, after all these years. So that's really cool. Let's see.
I'm gonna run back toward my Tennessee roots. I'm gonna let this breathe a little bit more. I'm gonna let my little orange bottle breathe a little bit more.
Yeah. We could stay on for about another 15 minutes.
I'm good getting off whenever. My wife took the dog for a walk. As soon as she gets back, I'm gonna go visit with her some more.
Yeah, no one's home, but I was gonna get all this stuff. I think that podcast went fantastic. I didn't have any technical difficulties, which was like kind of cool. Now hopefully Super Nash can save it. Share it across, and if you can share it across some things, we can get our normal amount of viewership. Facebook, I don't know how people responded because it was at 6 o'clock, and 8:30 is the standard when you do and set. People kind of just come around at 8:30,
Right.
Doing that. Now,
Any chance of replaying it at 8:30?
well, anybody can once they come, they can replay it, but then they're not live, that kind of thing.
Well, 27 more minutes, it'll be 8:30.
Yeah, and then people could do that. But like I said, success, pretty good success on YouTube. Thank you to everybody there. I mean, it's YouTube is starting to really take hold, and I don't have to worry about, I got to figure out what to do with little Steve-O. I maybe have, I don't know. It's like I'm in the last. It takes so much time and effort to dispute this, and then the last one, they didn't go for the dispute. They said you have to agree to not dispute this, and then we'll leave you alone. And I agreed not to take it off, and then they took off the revenue. Then they took off the copyright. It was the weirdest thing. I won them all one way or another, and the only last one that has a copyright is the Four Branches. And it was a very successful podcast, and I don't want to share my revenue because why am I sharing a revenue when it's a cover song of a cover song? The Doors is did a cover song of a 1927 song. They didn't change the words or the beat, and then they, in the first verse, show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Do you like how I incorporated that in the theme song with the AI?
Yes.
That's pretty catchy.
One of my good bourbon friends is an intellectual properties attorney.
Uh-huh.
He and I actually went up to Louisville he was there with me when I got that Weller Millennium in King, Kentucky that Walker got.
Mm-hmm.
I could talk to him and see if he would be interested in looking at this for you if you get to that point where you need something like that.
Well, I've switched it out with AI, and I'm
Right.
really good at writing words for the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, and I'm
Yeah.
paying the $8 a month. So when you pay the $8 a month, you're allowed to use it.
Well, how much revenue would you be losing on that one podcast?
And I don't lose revenue. They're not getting any shared revenue. I get 40 cents per thousand, and I had, so it's $1.20, and so I would have lose 60 cents.
It's not worth another second of your thought.
I know but if we ever got big and I kept using it, that's what they're trying to do to me.
Right, but you're not going to keep using it because you created your own.
Right, but I feel guilty because I really like the artist who created it for me.
Well, but he also understands copyrights. He's an artist.
Oh yeah, I did not
He has no
know.
problem with you he has no problem or shouldn't have any problem with you using AI so that you don't have to give away your revenue.
Yeah, and maybe I can write I can write a hit song. People are asking about that song anyways.
Well, there is that side of it, but that's a totally different discussion.
I thought I did a really good job tonight of looking at the camera while they were talking.
You did. I would make one suggestion.
Sure.
I noticed.
Do muscles like
I
this
don't-
more?
Is her name Diane?
Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed she got less attentive for just a short while during the song. I don't think she realized it was going to be 2 or 3 verses. And with the guitar riff going on, it's kind of like it should stop here, but then it kept going, and then the music kicked back up. But the way it was sounding, I wasn't expecting the lyrics to come back.
It was a real song, and having that at the end is okay.
Right.
I do that. I don't do that for the people watching. I do that for the people listening.
Okay.
Because they can't.
They were kind of thinking, wow, should this, when does it get done?
I agree.
Kind of the thing I think they might have been thinking. But I was surprised that all 4 of them stayed on for a few minutes. That was very nice.
It sure was it not?
I figured one would stay on, honestly. I didn't think all 4 would.
Well, there you go. And then you had trouble getting on.
Yeah, and when I was trying to tap it on my phone, it wouldn't come up.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, I went to my laptop and brought up Zoom on my laptop and just keyed it in manually.
Well, I think also it's good that you came on tonight, Randy, because you asked a couple questions that were very specific that will help people, like, Saturday, so we get in on Friday, okay? But I might have to come in on Thursday. Now.
Well, Thursday, if I understand, Thursday is when Walter's doing his thing at the farm.
Right. And knowing that, well, that's why I got to get off I should get off now and call Walter.
Yeah.
All right. So, yeah, I want
to know what he says about that, because if he's having a party Thursday.
Oh, yeah, the party at the farm is pretty good. Yeah, and then Friday night is the auction, and then Saturday, we used to get it on Friday, and then the first year we didn't go to the auction or the dinner, we just spent the night on the town. And then last year we were invited to the dinner, and then when we were done with the dinner, Roxy went back and we ended up at the bourbon capital after the thing, and that's where me and CT got to taste the Amaranth of the Gods and the 18-year marriage.
Okay.
Which Walker then proceeded to be a prude.
Surely not.
Yeah.
Remember, you're still on Facebook.
No, I was kidding. Walker basically was like, I don't like that. I'm like, oh my God.
Which one did he not like? The Airman?
He didn't like both.
Really?
He preferred the regular Taylor.
Well, at this point in his career, that's a good thing.
He's allowed to.
Yeah. I personally liked the 4 grain a lot.
Oh, I've had so much 4 grain through Super Nash. It's ridiculous. It's one of my favorite pours. But I will tell you, the 18-year-old marriage and the Amaranth of the Gods was more. It was a higher end pour. The 4 grain is a fantastic bourbon. Okay, I'll give you that. It's fantastic. Barrel strength to me is a fantastic bourbon. Small batch Taylor is about as good of a small batch as there is out there, right?
Yeah.
And but when you got into that, that was a different level. That I only tasted that on the grape wine one from Bardstown. It had this grapey taste to it. It was so good.
And I've had a couple of them had that grapey taste that I really like.
That's usually like high end stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You know, the highest, probably the highest level that I've got right now is a Warehouse C.
You got that open?
No, not yet.
Well, once you have that open, I never tasted hot Warehouse C. What'd you have to pay for that?
I traded I think I traded no, I didn't either. I paid 300 and something.
That's decent for Warehouse C. I don't know how you convince people to give you things for so little.
Auctions or not, well, I'll tell you when we're not on camera.
Okay, so did you ever get a hold of the Tornado batch?
I had a chance to buy one in Bardstown, but I skipped it.
Well, you probably skipped it because of the financial investment.
Yeah, I wanted $5 grand for it, and I was like, I don't think so.
That's not a when you do that, that's not a drinkable bottle.
No.
Although I saw it for 20 grand at Justin's House of Bourbon.
Yeah. Well, I saw this one at, what's Toddy's?
Okay.
They had it.
And we all know what Toddy's is, right?
Do what?
Toddy's is the liquor store that Fred Noe worked at. All right,
Oh my goodness, this Leopold, I just opened this 3-chamber, let it breathe a little bit.
Yep.
It's nice.
All right.
I'll bring some to the ball game.
I really don't want to get off YouTube, but we're going to get off YouTube right now. Thanks everybody for being on. We really appreciate it. Join us 8:30 on Thursday for Knobs is coming on, and he's going to pick the whiskey. So I'll let you know what it is tomorrow. Thanks.